is Yara. Welcome. So happy to be here with you today. And today, we're really just here to vibe. Um, I am blessed to be alive. And lately, I've just been struggling with that reality of gratitude for every day, even though I truly hold a philosophy of making the most of every day. But I've just really been struggling with school, feeling like a distraction, but also I am completing my last semester of undergrad. Woohoo, shout out to me. I did that, period. And yeah, it's just a really big transition phase in my life right now, and just been feeling distracted, lost, but also like my things that I'm working on, committing myself to my passions. I know that that grounds me, but I guess I just feel like I haven't been making enough time and effort and pouring energy into that, even while I'm finishing school. And it makes me just feel like bad about myself. I'm like, I should be doing more. I should be focusing on my passions. And it's just interesting because I'm just so passionate about so many things. I love, I love, I love life. Okay, I really do, and I just be like, oh well, I really want to focus on this, but I'm just like realizing that my body knows how to regulate itself. And sometimes I feel like I don't understand my own cycles and my own rhythms of what that is, but it always works out. Um, so right now it's my last semester. I'm just gonna take these off because they're making noise. Um, I'm doing a jazz vocal choir. I'm doing individual instruction on piano. But you know what? I'm gonna take a minute to talk about the piece that I'm learning because I'm just like, I just need more classical music nerd friends. Like, when I was in Brazil, I was dating a girl that was a violinist. She played Vivaldi for me and as the sun set at the lagoon, and it was just the most magical moment of my life. And I miss you. I miss you, babe. Anyway, like I was saying, the reason why I brought that up is because connecting with her made me be like, oh my gosh, I need to be connected with more people that love music, but also love classical music because there's just nothing like it in this world. Okay, I love all music, but classical just has its own tradition that I feel like white supremacy, but we can't deduce things to one thing when it's a lot of things, okay? Everything is just complex, and I feel like that's a mindset that I actively have to find myself step away from, is trying to see things in black and white of absolutes, of definitiveness, when really nothing is definitive. It's just how we're choosing to see it in that moment. And so classical music is one of those things that is just really complex. It has a lot of history, and I don't know, I just think about that a lot. Like, I grew up in like a low income background, and like normally, as being low income, being black, being a woman, the luxury of knowing the piano in the intimate realm of classical music would not be afforded to someone of my identities, and I did it anyway. And I love like playing piano for people, and I just feel like I always surprise them. Like I feel like they never expected like what I'm about to play. I'm like, gotcha. But yeah, so that's been taking up a lot of my time. Oh, we can just talk about it right now. I'm learning Beethoven's Appassionata first movement. Oh my god, it is the longest piece I've ever learned in my whole life. It is, the recording is 9 minutes. Me playing through it and I still am learning the notes, it takes me like fucking 30 minutes. And I'm like, oh my god, like, oh, the dedication. But I am like so miserable learning this piece, but it also just makes me feel so grateful that, I live in the age of fucking n- no attention span. And so to be able to sit down and read music and like make myself just keep learning even when I'm tired and don't really feel like it just feels like such a gift. I'm just so grateful. I'm like, wow, I'm really over here learning. Wow, okay. I can keep going. Oh, okay. This actually sounds really great. Oh, wow. Ooh, I feel the music now. Ooh, I hear that story. Ooh, what's that element there? Oh. Bro, piano is just so cool. And, you know, I feel like we talk about projection as a bad thing, but projection is actually amazing because we force people to fucking live out our dreams. And what I mean by that is both of my parents are musicians, and really, I think both of my parents wish that they had learned piano. And like growing up, I didn't really understand the significance. I'm like, I just am putting my two hands on the keys, like it's whatever. But to voice, I can voice. I mean, like in this song, let me think about that. Mm, I mean, yeah, there's like you can voice up to four different parts in one song, and I'm one person, and so it's like I'm four people all at once. It's so fun. But what I mean by voicing is, like in a choir, how there's like bass, tenor, soprano, alto. You can play all these different parts on your hands. So like usually the left hand will be a bass and tenor, and right hand is soprano, alto, and it's just so magical to be able to embody a fucking choir, an orchestra with just my one being. Like one of my favorite songs that I've learned is called Bloom a Lead by G Lang. And it's voicing is just so beautiful, and I remember I was pretty young when I learned it. Dun, dun, da, 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 da. There was low key a reason why I wanted to bring that piece up, but I kind of forgot. But that's okay. If you've never heard it, I would recommend. Okay, I remember now because I listened to the recording one day. But I'm over here on Spotify. I'm an internet girl. I'm like, let me research my music that I've been learning. Oh, I love this song. I played it before. Feels nostalgic without having to actually put my hands on the keys. Let me listen. And the recording that I pulled up was an orchestra version. And I'm like, whoa, this is a whole other vibe. But there is so much happening. But like, and yes, arrangements can be different, like it might be a few different notes or a few different chord placements or whatnot, but it's pretty much the same. And it's like, wow, like, I don't know. And it's just interesting because as a pianist, like, through my intention and understanding and control of my hands, I can capture like different sounds and different voices and different instruments all in my little fingers. Oh my goodness. My piano teacher, she, shout out to her, bro. Her name is Ariel. I love her. And she be humbling me. And I just, it's like so dramatic for me. It's just like, I don't even know what to say. It's like triggering because, oh my gosh, I'm just, when I was a child, I was so emotionally repressed. And I just felt like everyone just wanted to like attack me and criticize me. And so I was just coming with that energy to like my piano lessons. And I was just like, well, they're just always going to critique what I play anyway. So I might as well just not practice because they're just going to tell me anyway. I used to have a quitter's attitude, okay? And I don't anymore. Praise God, you know, I've been delivered. But, what my piano teacher would be like, you know, she was kind of mean. Some of them were nice, some of them were mean. And I remember one teacher, she was Korean and she didn't really speak a lot of English. And so she would be like, okay, play. And she'd be like, stop. She would literally like snatch my hand. And she's like, no, play like this. And then she'll grab my hand. I'm like, bruh, why are you touching me? What's going on? But yeah. So all that to say, even though I'm like 20 something now and I'm still taking lessons, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm not who I used to be anymore. I have to keep growing and I can't freeze. I can't freeze myself in time and I can't freeze other people in time. And I can't assume that one piano teacher is exactly like the next. I have to create space for a new experience. But that's my own projection. That's my own projection. But I want to get back to what I was saying about how projection can be a beautiful thing because neither of my parents, they always wanted to play. They both like really encouraged me to play piano because they knew like how much the one instrument could teach you about musicality. And yeah, they projected that onto me. And great job. Just 12 out of 10. I'm so grateful. Thank you. I used to be so hard headed and this just really be making me think like, who am I? Like, what do I really be on? What do I really love and want to do and why? Because I used to never want to practice. I used to have such a bad attitude about it. And I never used to really feel like super free on the piano, but now I do. And I think what really changed my relationship with piano was doing it for myself when I was a kid. I used to really just do it for my parents and like do what I was told. And I used to always feel like I was really stuck in this dynamic of feeling like I had no choice but to obey my parents and do what I was told. And like there was no space for my autonomy and no space for what I wanted. And so, yeah, like, my relationship with music just totally transformed when I picked up my piano minor, which my dad did coerce me into doing. he he high key pisses me off with this. I'm not gonna lie. Like it still irritates me. He told me, he said, "Oh, if okay, so let me explain my situation. I'm on a full scholarship. USC pays for all my tuition. I when I first got to school, I had to pay for some of my housing, like 2 or 3K. But that was the only like out of pocket cost, and that's because I was living on campus. But I had like money saved, so I'm like, whatever. But my dad, like the next year, he was like, "Oh well, if you pick up a piano minor, I'll help pay more for your school." he has not given me any money outside of my one piano class for school. And I'm just like, bro, why is that the condition? Like, why don't you want to support me in my learning regardless? But haha, this is obviously a trigger for me, so releasing the anger. I'm graduating. It doesn't matter. I made it. I did great without his financial support. And I'm grateful. I'm really grateful. Well, all that to say, so before I picked up the minor, I was doing like piano lessons at school. I don't even know how I knew I could do that. I really don't know. I don't remember how I found out about that. Maybe my friend, he did guitar lessons, and I was like, oh, you can do that, like guitar lessons at school, and he's like, yeah, you don't even have to have the major minor, and which is something that I really love about my school is at USC you don't have to have a specific you can dabble in any field here. Like you could fucking be like a engineering student and take a dance class. You could be a dance major and go take an astronomy class. Like they really encourage it too because you have to do these things called GEs. And so I ended up taking like piano class, and it was just like it was my first time taking piano lessons in a long time. I couldn't even tell you the last time I had taken class because when I was finishing high school, it was COVID, and then my last teacher before that was probably the Korean lady, and I was working with her from like maybe 8th grade on and off, 9th grade, 10th grade, maybe I really don't remember because I used to be so anti. I used to be so a hater. I used to resent music so much, but I really just wasn't feeling the emotional connection to it. I wasn't feeling the healing power of it because it just felt like a burden to me. And it's just so beautiful how like relationships change, but I had to want it to change, right? I couldn't just and it's like I honestly just still kind of wonder like what really inspired that change. But man, during COVID, I just feel like I healed a lot. I healed a lot, and I was still like struggling with a lot of the same pain and trauma attachments, but I would just sit outside like every day, go for a walk, ride my bike, and sit in nature. And I would watch the bugs move. And sometimes I would smoke weed, but a lot of the time I would just sit there and sing with the water. And it just really did something to my spirit. Like, it was just so grounding. And I think that in itself made me connect with music a lot of like singing to the river, like listening to the river, listening to the sounds of nature, and just like how calming and like loving that always felt to me. And then also thinking about going into um yeah, I just got wrapped up in like the sensation of like being in nature and listening to sounds, but also how good it felt to bring my own voice to that and to harmonize with the sounds around me and to feel like I had a gift to share and offer the space, the environment of connecting with the river and singing with her. It's just something so healing. And yeah, I feel like that was a big start in reconnecting with music. And then I think during COVID, maybe I would just play piano more because there was nothing else to do. And it's just like, man, like, you really have to live your life for you. You really have to live your life for you. You have to do the things that are fun for you. And I was also really rebellious when I was a high schooler. So sometimes I'm like, is it that I did like these things and I wouldn't even allow myself to admit it because I just didn't want to be like my parents? Perhaps. Perhaps. Because I now just love music. Oh, you know what also just my aunt, she passed away a few years ago, and her she had like a really slow death, and she had a coma, like, or she was in a coma for like a year before she died, and then she got a little bit better, and then when she was a little bit better, I would go to like the nursing home she was in, and I would play piano for her, and uh man, that's just like one of my favorite memories. And there's just nothing like the gift of music. Like, I love that I was able to share that with her. I love that I was able to bring this gift and make her feel more present, because like she would just kind of be like, she was just dying slowly in there for real. Like, the nurses were just, they're overworked, but are they really like caring for her, talking to her? And she would just watch a lot of TV and just kind of like sit around. And so to give music something so active and immersive, and then like I would play two songs that she loved. Well, she would always make me replay this song. I think I would play the Bluma lead song a lot for her too, but she would always make me play this adaptation of Rhapsody in Blue. Um, and it's now one of my favorite songs because of this moment. But I wish I would have asked her, like, like, what does she see when she hears that song, or what does this song feel like to her? Because that's why music is just so cool, because it has all this significance, it has all this history, this memory that like we might even not be aware of, but like we're still feeling it, you know? And I know, like, for me, I always really liked Rhapsody in Blue, and I'd always wanted to learn it. And I still, now that I learned this Beethoven piece, I'm like, I can do anything. 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 I could do anything. I could do anything. I could do anything. I could do anything. And Rhapsody's Blue is going to be learned this summer. Cause rest in peace, my aunt Rock. Like, I always wanted to learn it for her, and now she can just listen from the ancestral realm. But yeah, so I would always play this. It's a shorter adaptation, and so for me, like, the first time I heard it, I was in elementary school. We were watching Fantasia, and they like showed New York City, people working on the skyscraper, and just like the chaos of the city, but then like how you can still feel lonely in the city, and like they had illustrations to the song, and that just always really resonated with me, how life can just feel like so crowded and busy and overwhelming and complex and chaotic, and there's so much happening, but at the same time, like it gets slow, it gets lonely, it gets concentrated, it gets focused, and but it's still exciting, and there's still always something to look forward to. And that's why I just love that song. Like, that's what it makes me think of, and I just love music, bro. I used to really just like take music for granted. I be talking about this sometimes with people. Like, I just really used to take music for granted, and I am just in a phase of my life right now where like I'm releasing all guilt and shame of that taking it for granted and just basking in the glory of how capable I am and how I am a musician and what a gift that I can call myself that and that I feel music in my heart, that I hear it, that I create it, that it can work through my body in all these different ways simultaneously. Like it I was learning the song Nights in Tunisia on piano and whenever I learn any jazz song at home, I started learning it this summer when I was visiting my family, and my dad is like, he's just so annoying. He's like, what did he even say to me? He's like, yeah, well, the other pianist I know, he can do both hands at the same time with the polyrhythms. Polyrhythms is when one hand is playing one rhythm, and the right hand plays another rhythm. So it's like. Okay, let's see if you can hear this. No, I can't even do it. I have to play the actual song. But anyway, that's what polyrhythms are. I feel like as a pianist, I'm like a fake drummer, and it makes me want to learn how to play the drums so I can be more comfortable in polyrhythms. Beethoven song that I'm learning right now also has polyrhythms, but it's like a little bit. It's pretty hard for me, but so yeah, that's what polyrhythms are. It's when like one hand is doing one thing, but it could be more complex. Like it could be like, and the idea is just that like there's these two competing rhythms and they're not the same at all. And so Nights in Tunisia it has that, and it's a fun jazz song. And yeah, I think I really enjoyed learning that song because it just reminds me that there's always more to learn and that I am always capable. Like I just need a minute. Same thing. Like, and it's always interesting because, well, I think Nights in Tunisia, the voicing is pretty unique. Like, it has a lot of accidentals and whatnot. But I was also learning the song, Something Told Me It Was Over when I saw you and her walking. I'd rather go blind by Etta James. I'm so bad at remembering song titles, but I'd rather go blind by Etta James is has always been one of my favorites, and I remember listening to the song. I'm like, sometimes when I'm like I want to start learning new songs, I'm like, okay, let me listen to my favorite songs, and then I'm like, oh, this is actually really easy. Because if you listen to music and if you listen hard, it's like, oh, there's just two chords here. There's only like one change. And that song by Etta James is just really simple. It only has two chords, but it has polyrhythms, so it was actually a bit harder to learn. And then the voice has it's really like a whole other rhythm on top of it. Do 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 do, and then the right hand is just kind of do 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 do. Something told me was over when I saw you and her walking. Yeah, so there's really like three things happening there. My voice is doing one thing, my left hand's doing another, my right hand's doing another. And I just love that's something I love about music is like, oh my god, there's so much happening, but I got it. There's so much happening, but I can handle it because even me myself in my own life, I'm like a polymath. I have so many interests. and I'd be overwhelmed my damn self. And that's how I started this discussion. It's just feeling like I have so many passions and projects, and I'm like, how am I gonna do all of this? But it's like, you release the tension and you focus, and it all flows through you, and you don't even really have to do anything. Like when I was learning that, well, both songs, Nights in Tunisia and I'd Rather Go Blind, it's like I was just thinking about it so hard. Even the Beethoven song, like when the rhythms are more complicated, I'm like, bro, I'm just thinking too hard. And I was just saying this to a friend the other day of how I live in a society where I was taught to value my masculine mind, and that includes analyzing everything, rationalizing everything. And so, even when it comes to something like feeling my emotions, instead of just feeling it and letting it pass me, I analyze, I rationalize, I let it linger, I hold on to it. I try to flip it and insect it, and that's not processing. That's not feeling, that's not releasing. And that's what I need, and I feel like that translates a lot in general in life, but also to music of like, yes, music theory is dope. It really opened my mind, and it I enjoyed learning music theory because it was like, oh, these are all patterns. But even so, even when you see the pattern, it's like in living life, like as humans, we're beings of habit. We're constantly just repeating our cycles. But it's one thing to try to calculate the cycle, and it's another thing to live in the cycle, to just go through it, to go through the motions. And I feel like in music, like it's so much more about the feeling. Like, yes, you can read music. Yes, that's a layer of it. Yes, you have to know when to come in, but it's like, okay, when do I come in? I come in on the first beat. What does that mean? You have to feel the beat to know what one is. Yeah. So I just feel like I'm in this phase of my life where really being called to lean into my femininity. And I think I'm transitioning out of this very masculine space of academia and trying to really just not feel guilt about that, not feel shame about not wanting to fucking be a girl boss or whatever the fuck, and just embrace my softness and what it means to feel, to be beautiful. Yeah. I be having like an existential crisis about finishing school like every day. And I'm just like, what am I doing next? But I'm like, I know what I want to do next. Not everybody needs to know how I move. All I need to do is align myself with how I want to feel when I'm there, align myself with who I want to be, and stride towards that. And know that even if it feels like there's a disconnect from who I am now and who that person will be, that is okay. And I feel, and I like that's literally all that like manifesting is like bringing alignment to like the future self that has the thing that I want and the person that I am right now. And I be thinking about that a lot even while I'm learning this Beethoven song, because I'm like, oh my God, this song is so hard. It's so long. I'm like, how am I even gonna get through this? I'm just playing all the wrong notes. But I'm so far. I am infinitely further than I was yesterday. I am infinitely further than I was definitely a week ago, definitely a month ago, and definitely 2 months ago. And like I said, like just 2 days ago, I had a piano lesson, and I tried to read the dynamics, but something just like clicked where like I'm like, oh, I feel the music. And that's just such an exquisite feeling. Because I feel that way even a lot when I sing, and I've been learning guitar and I just love the guitar. It's so beautiful. But I feel like on piano, I be thinking a lot. I feel like piano was me pushing. I feel like a lot of it, I was uh, really just leaning into my masculine mind. But guitar, like I don't know how to read the notes on guitar. Like I know what notes the string are, and I'm like, if I thought about it really hard, I would know what note I'm playing. But I just really just go based off feels, and it feels so good. Like I just love the guitar because it's so cool because this instrument is sitting on me, and I feel the sounds and the vibrations coming out as I play it. And yes, piano you can feel, but I've not like my fingertips feel it. Maybe my foot feels it a bit, but it's mostly my ear. And the guitar, it's on my core. It's like touching my heart and my belly and my uterus and my base, and it's this thing on my body, and I don't know, it just feels almost easier to harmonize with it because it's so like I literally feel it. I feel like a tune, like when I tune instruments, like it's really like a feeling. It's just so interesting. Like when I tune the instrument, like when I tune guitar, it's it's like it just feels completely different of when it's in tune versus not. And it doesn't matter if it's sharp or if it's flat. Like it just feels off, but when it's and it also sounds different, but it just feels different. Like yeah, I don't know how to really explain that one, but yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. I've had an amazing day, and I've been skipping Arabic class. I'm kind of my teacher's kind of mean. It makes me want to not go to class. I can't blame her though. I can't. But I don't know. Like she be encouraging the freshmen, and she's like, "Oh, you're a senior. Get the fuck out of my face." Which I get it. You want your department to keep going. You want your department to live long and strong. I respect the hustle, queen. But yeah, I've been skipping Arabic. I usually don't skip class, but I'm a senior. Like this had to happen eventually, and it's at 11 a.m. It's such an inconvenient time of the day because it's not like, oh, let me wake up. It's like like it's like when I wake up late, it's like it's already late, so it's like might as well not go. But I skipped class. I scrolled in bed for a long time. I've been struggling with my social media addiction because I've just been feeling really sad lately and overwhelmed. And whenever I be like depressed, I'm like, might as well just scroll because I already feel bad about myself. I laugh, but I'm so serious, and it's upsetting. But I'm really about to take a step back. I don't know. This kind of pisses me off about myself, where I feel like, I was just talking about this earlier, where I had this mindset of absolutes, where it's like I'm all or nothing, but it's like Rachel, balance. Which I do feel like I do have my own rhythm of balance, like especially in social media. Like I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna download it for like a day and then get off, whatever. But yeah, I just feel like I be like, oh, I'm not really on there. Like I'm just off it. But then I be on it, and when I'm on it, I'm like scrolling for hours. But low key, like I'm just focused. I'm focused on scrolling. I'm focused. Yeah, focus. But yeah, that's just me. That's me, my life, my music. Sometimes I'm like, should I just like be a musician full time? But I think after school, I'm going to be teaching piano more consistently. And honestly, I'm really excited for that. I think that's just gonna be like a really fun chapter of my life where like I meet like really cool people and get to just like love and inspire children. And I love, like I said earlier, just all my different identities. Like love being a black woman teaching piano. Like yes, I am a black queen. Um, I'm gonna show you today. My favorite piano teacher I ever had was a black woman, and she was just such a real one, bro. And I was so depressed in middle school, and she saw it, which is like, oh, that should be hard. Cause I low key, when I used to be a tutor, and one of my students was like depressed, and I'm like, damn, babe, you're only 10. Like, what's the trauma already? Like, it's actually really sad. I really don't know, but he would tell me crazy stuff about his parents, and I'm like, oh, that sounds like a lot. I would be triggered too. But yeah, like kids need love. Kids need support. They need elders. They need people to inspire them and show them how great they can be. And so I'm really excited to be entering into this next chapter of my life where I'll just take a step more into teaching and embracing my musicality and supporting myself with that. And I'm a little nervous. I'm like, how do I find clients? But it's like people are looking for me. In part for the reasons I said, but also just because I'm a great musician. I play multiple instruments. I am holistic. I'm also a healer. And I'm just a well rounded individual. So there's a lot of people looking for me and my and my services that I can offer. And sometimes I get like I was just talking about this with my therapist the other day, and it was like, I was like, yeah, man. Like sometimes I just really struggle to feel seen, but also like I don't really want to be seen, and it's like, but I do. I do love to be seen. I love to perform. I love attention when I want it. Um, but also sometimes it's really hard. Like I just don't want to be seen sometimes, but once again, it doesn't have to be so absolute. I don't have to always be seen, and I don't have to always be hidden. It's just a balance of being human, and I'm just figuring that out for myself right now. And I'm just kind of in a phase. I'm in a phase of figuring out my balance and where I exist between these things, and just getting really comfortable of like this being my life and making the most of it every day. And so, you know, we're just gonna end it there. I'm so tired. I've barely been sleeping this week. Y'all pray for me. I am going through it, but I know I'm going to be okay. I know everything is working out in its highest favor for me. And if I could say anything to you, I wish you the best. I hope all your dreams come true. I hope you're dreaming bigger than you ever thought would be possible. And peace.